So hello everyone, my name's Mark Segal, product owner for data at Perform Group. For those who don't know, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Perform Group bought Opta. So Opta is now part of the wider Perform Group that includes a load of other companies around data, but also video and editorial. So before I get going, just a little bit about myself. I started off as a journalist, so some of that stuff that Dan just showed, some of that stuff I probably used to write. And I used to work for what used to be seen as one of the first real-time sports news services. It's an innovative company that was the first port of call for all football fans. So I worked at Teletext. So I was football editor at Teletext for a few years. I followed England, reporting for press conferences, reporting for matches, but then also managing what you would now call a homepage, putting up stories, reacting to stories, interviewing players, etc., etc. After Teletext, I freelanced around for a couple of years at various different media organisations, and I ended up at ITV, where I ran the ITV football website. ITV, we had our highs, we had some lows as well. So I worked on this night where Dan Gosling scored, and ITV went to a Tic Tac advert. I worked on that night where Steven Gerrard scored, and half the country who were watching in HD didn't see the goal. Made me feel a bit like that. So moving on from Adrian Charles. So in May 2012, I moved to Opta, where I product managed their set of widgets. And about a year ago, I moved up and I now manage all the data products in Opta. So what I thought I'd do, and I know some of you here have probably worked with various Opta products from different markets. So what I thought I'd do is I'd take you through the different products we offer, and then show how it all kind of comes together and show how we serve different markets with the same data, but maybe slanted slightly differently. So obviously, our sort of most popular product is our XML feeds. So data gets collected, it gets put into a database, it gets pushed out to in feeds to various organisations. It can be live data, so during games when goals go in. It can be seasonal statistics, so at the end of games, cumulative data. The basic data around fixtures and results, standings, tracking data we're now sending out as well. So everything like that, customers can come to us and they can get this raw data, and with that they can kind of do what they like. The widget product, which is kind of what I started in at Opta. So widgets were built for customers who don't have the development resource but want a quick way of getting Opta data onto their site. So things like heat maps, things like chalkboards, things like that kind of take quite a long time to develop with our feeds. We can give a user a kind of ready-made solution. The difference with the widget product is around what data points you show. We choose the data points to show rather than the customer. And widgets, as you'll see, have become quite popular, and some of our bigger customers who probably do have the dev resource but just would rather take what we provide for them. Third product is around hosted match centers. These are basic collections of widgets that are given to a customer, so these are the kind of very quick and easy wins for customers. They cover in a small tournament, say the Under-21 Championship, we can provide them with a ready-made solution. And the final product is hosted solutions, subscription sites. So these are sites which we host, we build, and we allow customers to come and log into these sites. So these will include broadcast sites, so when games are being broadcast live, we have customers who will log into a site to get the latest data, but also be able to chat with our editors and get the latest stats, latest kind of Opta facts, which then get passed on to the commentator, who will then say one area and sound like he's really knowledgeable. And also we've got some professional products, so products we sell to clubs where they can log into the data from their players as well. So what I thought I'd do is use Sunday's North London Derby as an example of how our kind of products come together and how they're used in different markets. So I'm a West Ham fan, so of me, but 1-1 was quite good because everyone's quite happy and can go through this without annoying anyone. So about 3 or 4 days before the match, we will send out some facts about a game. So this is what an XML feed look like if you've not seen it before. If you can see it in the kind of last 2 lines, Facts in there, Arsenal won 13 and lost 2 of their last 18 Premier League games. So that will get sent to a customer, they'll use it, the BBC will use it on their site, Sky will use it, etc. And the customers who take widgets will just load up a widget and that same fact will be in there. And then what we also do is we send out commentator packs to broadcasters, so this will be just basically a huge collection of stats and data and facts that the commentator can use. It can help their research. Some commentators just use it, obviously some like to do their own research. It's kind of an aid to the commentator and get them ready for the game. Hour before kickoff, team lineups come out. So again, starting with a feed, we will send for a feed, and it will tell a customer where the player's playing, what shirt they're wearing, the formation place, so if they want to set up a formation to show what formation the team's in. Again, in widgets it can be provided like that, or it can be provided like that. Again, same piece of data, but just sent out and presented in different ways. So the game kicks off. We provide XY coordinates of every event. We're doing live cumulative team and player stats. We're doing average positions of all players, live league tables, and also our editorial team are working with a live monitor product to deliver facts to customers. And then this happens in the game. So Kieran Gibbs scores. Quote from Jonathan Pearce at the bottom. So what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd break down everything that we collect for that goal. So it starts, I don't know if you saw the goal, but Ozil crosses, Kieran Gibbs back post, puts it in. So this is what we say about the cross. So the top bit is who scored it, when he scored it, the XY position, and the fact that it was an assist. And then after that, it's all the different variables that we can add, all the qualifiers we call them, which we can add about a pass in the game. Some people often say, why don't we collect automatically? Surely there's technology now where you can track the ball and track the player. If you do it automatically, it doesn't provide this kind of in-depth information. So we can say the ball was chipped, we can say it's an intentional assist, and then obviously some automated things. So we can say where the pass started, where the pass ended, the fact it was a long ball because it went at a certain distance, the angle the ball was at, and a few other things as well. So Ozil put the cross in, Kieran Gibbs was there, back post, and that's what a goal looks like in the Opta world. So this shows, again, the event was a goal, type ID equals 16 at the top, tells you that it's a goal. And things like that. So type ID, customers will use that type ID to kind of create maybe a graphic on their site to show a goal alert somewhere. So that's how they use that. And then again, not every customer uses this information, but it's there if they want to use it. So we know it was a left-footed goal, we know it hit the woodwork, we can tell you whereabouts in the goal it went in, we can tell you where the goalkeeper was, the fact it was assisted, and again, a few other bits and pieces. So that's the goal goes in. What happens next? So we send out some extra feeds. So we send out a live score feed. So the Sky Sports video printer, so not for this game, but on a Saturday, they will take that top feed and that will feed into their back end, and on the front end, Jeff Segal will say there's been a goal at wherever. So that's the feed that they take. We also update the stats, so cumulative stats. So that was Gibbs' full touch of the game, and that was just obviously shows it was a goal. And then we also update the league table, so we provide them as it stands league table throughout the game. So now we know that Arsenal at that point, because they were losing, but now they're drawing, they've got 26 points in their second league table. And this is replicated in our widget products. So if a customer is using our sort of hosted widgets on their site, their timeline would update. We can show a goal replay. So what we've done in the widgets is we've taken all that information from the main feed and we've plotted those positions on the pitch, and we can show the replay of the goal within a minute of the goal going in. These have become popular. Now they're being used on the BBC live blogs. You've seen West Ham use them, Chelsea use them. They're becoming quite popular. I guess they're a good way of showing how the move happens. Sometimes you get a move that was 35 passes and the ball goes in. You'll also sometimes get a move that was one kick from the halfway line or whatever. We can also show on our chalkboard widget where the ball was. This shows Gibbs' contribution in the game. Actually, so this is a full time. This will update live. See the goal top left. We can also see what else he did in the game. wasn't really that much. We can show his touches as well during the game. So again, top left is where he scored. You also see, obviously, he came on as an attacking midfielder on the left, so obviously he's touched the ball right on the left, but also came back a bit and defended as well. You might not be able to see some of these, but this is these are two screen grabs from our live monitor product. So as I said, live monitor provides live data to customers, so mainly for broadcasters, so the BBC use it, Sky use it, Premier League Productions, which is what these are for, use it as well to get the live data, and also to get ideas for graphics, but also they can talk to our editorial team. So Gibbs' goal went in. Our team proactively put up 3 stats, which they can choose to use. Obviously, they don't have to. So Ozil has had 6 consecutive assists. It's the first time it's been done. Fabregas has also done it. And then it was a 24,000 Premier League goal. Who's counting? And on the other side, on the right-hand side here, we've got a question from the Premier League Productions. So these are the guys who broadcast the game worldwide. So they're asking us, do you know how many seconds there were between Gibbs' goal coming on and scoring a goal? We've actually said you can look at yourself, but actually we've also provided a response, which is 3 minutes and 1 second. So what we're doing there is we're providing contextual data, contextual stats for the guys who are broadcasting the game. So, you know, Rooney could miss a penalty. When was the last time Rooney missed a penalty? We can look up in our database and immediately we can tell them and they can that. And then post-match, we will send out, that's obviously the wrong thing at the top, I didn't change it. But we'll send out emails, some post-match facts that customers can use, again, on their websites, they can use them on their Twitter feeds, they can tell their mates down the pub. It's just, again, contextual information that kind of sort of finishes the game for them. And also, I mean, it's not my area, so I mainly focus on the media side of things, but we're also sending out reports to professional clubs after games. And they can also access this information through our online pro courses that we have as well. And just to give you an idea of where some of our data is being used, so both Arsenal and Tottenham use our widgets. And on the site after the game, you can see they're both using them there. It also gives an idea of the kind of customization that can be done with the widgets. So the widgets, the ones that I showed earlier, were quite vanilla, but we encourage our customers, and it's quite easy to take them, change the look and feel, make them look like their website as well. And just to finish off, so Jermaine Jonas wrote the piece, maybe, quoted the piece. It's on the BBC Sports site after the game, talking about Ozil and his assists. He made full use of sort of some of the Opta data that we had. So it's like an Opta ranking, so the number of assists over the season. They used some screen grabs from our widget products, so the chalkboard. And then they took our touch map that we have, put their own sort of graphics department to work, and created that. So a nice way of showing all the different ways that we provide the data and how our customers are using it. So just to finish, the sort of business model of Opta, collect once, distribute many times. Outputs do vary according to sector. How much a customer's paying also obviously varies, and what we can provide. There's a mix between the automated content that we can provide, but also the human element. And that human element is probably the key, and I guess the Opta difference is around providing context to the stats. As Dan said, it's no good just sending out loads and loads of stats. It has to be in context. It has to be part of the game as well. And that's it. Feel free to email me if you want, or follow me on Twitter. Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much, Mark. Anybody have any questions?
What part of it is the human element, and what part of it is automated from the point of the data you collect?
Yep.
And how you distribute this information?
So all the distribution is automated. Collection will have 2 guys watching the game, and they will manually track every pass in the game. But if they will plot a start and end point of a pass, and the back end will measure that pass. So that'll give you a number of passes over 30 yards in the game.
So what about the GPS that you showed in the beginning?
That wasn't us.
That'll be later on.
Mark, you talked a lot about the heat mapping and,
Yes.
and some of the other techniques for being able to visualize the data. Where do you see all of this going? What's going to happen next year and the following year?
It's difficult. I mean, something like a heat map has kind of got a bad reputation over the last year. You know, 2 years ago it was innovative. It would show different bits of data and people would go, wow, that looks great. The last 6 months on the heat maps have become, maybe because they're being used so much, maybe because lots of people are using them, like Tottenham and Arsenal and whatever. I think tracking data and eventing data, as we call it, merging those, that's probably the next big step, and we're doing bits around that, but it's very difficult to kind of map where a player's moving and where the ball is at the same time and putting all that together. But eventually, yeah, and things around where when a player's passing the ball, we know where he was, we know where the person receiving it was, where were the other 20 players on the pitch at that time. So I think that's probably where we're going to go next.
Got it. Thanks.
Anybody else? Well, you go, John. Yeah. Let's go with questions. I mean, you're talking about some of the stuff where, say, track out, for example.
Yeah.
And also say Monday Night Football is probably probably the area that's probably the closest to kind of, and you know, proper analysis that's kind of tactical and data, to some extent data driven. I mean, do you think that those kind of areas where you'll get much more data-centric analysis? So, I mean, that's a very long question. Canal Plus, for example, they have the data room.
Yes.
So, do you see something like that happening on Sky Sports or BBC anytime soon?
Yeah, you look back 20 years when Sky first started, they had the boot room with Andy Gray. Was doing exactly the same thing. As much as people make fun of it, Andy Townsend's tactics truck, that was data. That was you know, taking a part of the game and showing where players are moving, showing what's going on. So I think there's room for that. I'm sort of surprised Sky haven't picked up on that and made something more out. Maybe they think the Monday Night Football thing with the hour before the game is enough. But yeah, it's something that could possibly happen.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.